Good morning, race fans, and it is Wednesday morning here on the Announcers Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. My good friend and co-announcer, PJ Pedersen, co-hosts the show with me today.
What is up, everybody? Today we're going to be talking about small businesses, specifically the ones that keep racing going, not only the tracks but the drivers. And also Scotty sits down and has a nice conversation with Tim Pritchett Jr., one of the Races for Autism drivers, talking about his career and the recent switch from sport mod to hobby stock.
Also, the 4 Orange Salvage question of the day. All this and more coming up next on the Announcers Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. Well, good morning, everybody. How is everyone doing? A happy Wednesday morning, a cold Wednesday morning out here in the Midwest and heartland of America. I hope you all are staying warm. I know it's a cold one out there, so if you don't have to go anywhere, please stay home because of how cold it is. But if you do, make sure you bring extra belongings with you because, sometimes things happen, and we just want to make sure you are all safe and sound and warm. Like you heard in the intro today, PJ Pedersen, the voice of the Crawford County Speedway down there in Denison, Iowa, as well as the voice of Domination Motorsports Demolition Derbies. He's done a few more things as well. He's done a lot. I mean, this guy does a lot. But he's also a very dear friend of mine and happens to be one of the voices of the new Raceway Park alongside with me every Sunday night. He takes the lead, and I pick up wherever he leaves off, essentially. PJ Pedersen on the show today. PJ, thanks for co-hosting with me today, man.
Yeah, no problem. And building off what you were saying, folks, it's going to be cold the rest of this week into next week. Make sure your fuel tanks are topped off. Make sure you have blankets in there with you. If you can, have a little shovel in case you do end up in a ditch, in a bank, whatever, so you can kind of scoop the exhaust pipe out, whatever. But just be smart and be safe. I know I say it after every race, but with this weather, you really do need to be smart and be safe because this weather is brutal, Scotty.
That it is, and it just seemed to hit us out of nowhere. It was nice 1 minute, and then the next minute seems like Iowa and basically most of the Midwest got stuck in the freezer. So yes, we cannot say that enough, ladies and gentlemen. Please, you bring extra blankets with you or everything you need in case you get stranded if you do have to go out in this cold weather. Otherwise, we hope you are at home relaxing or at work listening to this podcast wherever you are at and at your business or small businesses, wherever you may be. And that's a topic that we're going to talk about today, PJ. Small businesses and racing. What do the two have in common and how do they go together?
Well, that's easy. There's really three main things you need to have. You need the drivers and teams, which is one thing. You need the tracks themselves. Well, I guess four, because you got to have the fans in there too. But the other main thing is you've got to have sponsors, not only for the cars, but the tracks themselves to help finance the season and keep that track going. I mean, if we didn't have such great sponsors like we have in Denison, and I know there's numerous ones. I mean, O'Reilly's, Finish Line, Van Wall Equipment. I'm missing a ton of them there. And then, of course, we got like J&J Fittings, M&T Motorsports, and others up at Raceway Park, and of course there's a bunch of them at Rocky and everywhere else. That's what helps to fund the season, the purse money and everything else to get these great events going. And of course the drivers have to have them on their cars because it might be small time, quote unquote, but it still takes a lot to keep these cars going up and down the road.
And it gives these businesses just the advertising opportunity to advertise in such a unique way, but then lets the fans know that, hey, this business sponsors this car, they support this car. Let's go check out that business because they support racing. And whether it's a driver or a track or even just a class at that track, support the local businesses that support your local racetracks because, if it wasn't for them, some of these tracks might not be able to run. And so definitely support them. I know a big factor, one, I wouldn't say small business, but one local business that loves to promote racing, especially in the Midwest here, Casey's General Stores.
Oh, yeah.
everyone goes to Casey's. PJ, I know you do. I do. The pizza's great. The food is awesome there. You can get gas. It's basically like your own little convenience store. But Casey's is a big part of dirt track racing here in the Midwest. And what a great business to have backing dirt track racing.
The only thing I can say about Casey's is that, other than the fact that I do love a good slice of Casey's pizza and the convenience stores are awesome, is I go back to Jamie's Hunger a few years ago. Let's take a few steps out of, being buttons you got to push to get your gas, especially when it's cold like this out. Let us just flip the switch, put the gas in, and go. I digress on that one, but yeah, you're right. I mean, you stop and think about it. Casey started off with just local tracks, and then of course they really hit big with their title sponsorship of the Speedway Motors IMCA Super Nationals, fueled by Casey's. They've sponsored 360 and 410 sprint cars for a long time. They used to be on, I believe, the number 6 of Don Droud Jr., if I remember correctly. The last, I believe, 7, 8, 9 years, they've been on the 21 of Blackjack Brian Brown. And you can't even hardly find a track that doesn't have either a night sponsored by them, a signboard sponsored by them, a special event or a tour that's sponsored by Casey's. That is definitely one of the big stories. That's one. You also got to look at the little guy, the little mom and pop place, like your Finish Line Racing products, places like that, they're really, really local, but they still put everything on the line to help the racers out.
Yeah, we have a few businesses like that in my area. PJ, you and I live a couple hours apart from each other. You guys have your mom and pop places down there. We got ours up here. Mm-hmm. Just to name a few of them in my area, Todd's Beer Cave in Rock Rapids, Iowa, big supporter of Rapid Speedway. You see a lot of racers stopping there to get ice, as Todd helps racers out from time to time with, hey, if you're going to the race tonight, here's a free bag of ice for your cooler. And just things like that. People getting gas there. A lot of people stop at the gas stations to go. Also, Highway 9 and 75 there to the gas station there, and then Casey's as well. So all three of those gas stations being big supporters of the racetrack. And another big supporter of the racetrack in Rock Rapids, Iowa for the Rapid Speedway is Pizza Ranch. Pizza Ranch sponsors Victory Lane. They have pizza at the track every night. And who doesn't love Pizza Ranch pizza? I mean, that is like a staple, a main staple here in the Midwest. So those guys really sponsoring, as well as, guys that sponsor other classes. Precision Auto Body sponsors the stock cars at Rapid Speedway. JNL RV sponsors the modifieds, and then you have Lem's Auto Recyclers that sponsor the sportsman class, and then you have Sebasma Graphics out of Sanborn that sponsors the hobby stock. So all of these small mom and pop places sponsoring the track, and then all these other businesses that sponsor the racers there at this track as well. And it's, like I said earlier, it's advertising for them, but it's also letting the people know, hey, we support this driver, and that lets the driver know, hey, guys, you come to watch us race, but you see these awesome sponsors on our cars and small businesses, go help them out. They're helping me, so let's help them in return and give them the business that they deserve as well.
Well, and it's really awesome when a community does come around a track, because they know that you're going to have your regulars each week, but when you have out of towners come in, they're going to spend money at these businesses. So why not put a signboard up? Why not put your name on a car? So these out of towners, if they need gas, or if they need to grab something to drink, or if they want to go to a strip club, book 'em Danos on the side of Jeff Fink's car comes to mind. They can do this, and they know a local place they can go to do that and spend that money there. So, it costs them a little bit to put their name on the side of the car, but in the long run, it's also going to be beneficial.
It definitely is. And, a place that started out as a small business that has actually grown in the racing community as well. I mean, PJ, what goes well with racing?
Oh, well, preferably good weather, but
I'm going to talk concession-wise. What goes good concession-wise with racing?
Well, For a normal fan, of course, we can't partake ourselves because we're working, but a nice adult beverage.
That too, but I was thinking more barbecue, though.
Okay, well, yeah, barbecue works too, but I mean, come on. Have you ever been to a race where there hasn't been any adult beverages flowing?
No, I can't say that I have, but I mean, a nice cold beer does go well with some good old racetrack barbecue. And here's what I'm hinting at, PJ: cookies, barbecue sauces, and seasonings.
Yes.
Just started out as a small business, and it has grown substantially. Also, a big supporter of dirt track racing. And they've done so much with donations to different charities and whatnot, and helped out with the racing. And Speed Harry from Cookies, we've seen him a few times at the new Raceway Park in Jefferson, South Dakota, and he used to race as well way back in the day.
Yep, he actually used to race himself, which is what kind of got the business and racing together. And then once he kind of stepped out of the seat, his son Jeff Herrig ran the number 69 modified for quite a while. And then Jeff kind of stepped out of the seat a little bit, but took over as promoter of the Buena Vista County Raceway, better known as the Beaver. Buena Vista Raceway. Sorry, Jerry Van Sickle. Sorry, I got to get the county out of there. My bad. But he took over promoting the Beaver for quite a while. And, unfortunately, Jeff's kind of out of it now. But, like you said, we've seen Speed a couple of times up at Raceway Park when they're doing sponsorship of the night, and always great to see him out and about. But yeah, I mean, starting from scratch business into what it is today, and he hasn't forgotten that, hey, racers love barbecue too, so let's throw their names on there.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of guys that, barbecue at the track that we've seen, and even a cooking contest that we had at the new Raceway Park last year. I know you missed that, PJ. You had other prior commitments for Domination Motorsports, but even in the demolition world, these small businesses helping out in the demolition world as well, it's the same thing for racing, and it's just really great to see, not only with circle track racing, drag racing, any types of racing, even the demolition derbies getting involved. Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, the interesting thing is you don't see so many sponsors on the cars for the Demo Derby, but you see the apparel for each team because, these teams come decked out. And, there's a lot of little, mom and pop, like parts stores or this or that help donate parts to it. And not to mention each stop that we go on, not only does DerbyTees.com come on board as well as Derby Nation TV, but also each stop has their own local sponsors that will help sponsor the night as well. And it's really fun to see a lot of these sponsors not only will put money in, but they'll put cars in and actually, they'll demo themselves.
And, you mentioned that, the race parts as well. One that we have up here, Rosie's Raceland. He has a trailer at the racetrack at Rapid Speedway each and every week. So if drivers need parts or tires, whatever they may need, he'll have that right there at the racetrack for them. Another business that also is really supportive of racing. I know you know this one for sure there, PJ. Arnold Motor Supply, a great supporter of dirt track racing and any racing as well.
Yeah, Arnold Motor Supply, obviously they've done a lot as far as different tracks go, but now this will be the third year where they've pretty much taken on title sponsorship of the Western Iowa Racing Results Midwest Madness Tour that Rod Olson and Tim Screen are putting on, which, by the way, if y'all want to keep tabs on that, I know that there's going to be some announcements for this year's Midwest Madness Tour coming out probably within the next month. I hate to put Tim on the spot like that, but I know that him and Rod have been working hard, and I know that they're about to make some releases of information. So keep tabs because, of course, this one's going to be bigger and better than ever. But yeah, Arnold Motor Supply coming on board with a tour like that starting at the bottom, but it's quickly growing. And, they have an actual – they've done so much in sponsorship. They have an actual incentive program for drivers, which I believe, Scotty, you were supposed to take part in the last year you drove, unfortunately.
Yep.
didn't quite make it through the season. But I mean, you can attest more to the program that they actually have for racers.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, they give you a small discount on parts and whatnot as you're advertising for them, so they're helping you as you help them, give them business as well. Great way that those guys are doing it. I think, if I remember correctly, Shane DeMay, driver of the 15M Modified, also part of that deal as well. So just great things from these small businesses that are growing larger. And I think we have dirt track racing, not only dirt track racing, PJ, but motorsports. We'll just categorize it as motorsports to thank for these businesses,
in general,
for these small businesses starting to grow to where they are today.
Now, granted, around here, let's face it, dirt track racing is it. I mean, we've got Hawkeye Downs in Cedar Rapids. We've got the Iowa Speedway in Newton, are really, for the most part, the only two real asphalt tracks we have. And then, of course, there used to be a drag strip in Eddyville. Don't know if it's still there, but Ottawa with their drag strip there. And then when it's not underwater, you've got the road course and drag strip down at Pacific Junction. But for the most part, it's all dirt around here.
And dirt track racing is a wonderful thing, not only to watch, but just to see how the community comes together and supports one another, especially in this small businesses and sponsoring these cars and tracks and whatever it may be. We're going to take a quick break here, PJ, and we're going to talk more about this when we come back. Just on the other side of the break, we're going to hear from Fort Orange Salvage, and we will have the Fort Orange Salvage question of the day coming right up after this message.
Evicted tenants leave a mess behind? Have an old appliance that you're tired of staring at? Yard waste, branches, carpet, old furniture, other discarded items you just want gone? Well, Fort Orange Salvage can take it all away. Call Jamie at 605-376-8532 for a quote today, or you can find him on Facebook by searching Fort Orange Salvage-Junk Haulers. Contractless payment through Venmo or PayPal is also available. Quick, easy, and affordable junk hauling. Fort Orange Salvage. We pick things up and we take them away. Serving Sioux Falls, South Dakota and surrounding areas.
We are back with the Announcers Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. And, we're talking about small businesses today on the show, along with PJ Pedersen, special co-host here. Fort Orange Salvage is one of those small businesses out of Renner, South Dakota, serving the Sioux Falls and Renner, South Dakota areas and surrounding areas. Jamie, great guy. He does a wonderful job with the junk hauling. If you need something hauled away, call him. A very friendly guy to deal with. He also was a sponsor of mine when I was still racing, and I know he still sponsors a few other cars out there as well in the dirt racing world. So Fort Orange Salvage, you heard the phone number. Go look him up on Facebook, Fort Orange Salvage-Junk Haulers, and call him today if you need something picked up and taken away, as they put it there. So with that, it is now time for the Fort Orange Salvage question of the day. And we're talking about small businesses, and I wanted to know, what are these small businesses and sponsors that help keep your race car out on the track each and every week? So we had a lot of answers here, PJ, some on TikTok and some on Facebook as well. So let's get to these, as we've got a lot of them, but we want to give everyone credit. So we'll start here on TikTok. What are the small businesses and sponsors that help keep your race car out on the track every week? Sway says Fresh Cut Evolution Graphics. Looking for a couple of new ones here in the 2021 season. Aaron Rohn says Turtles Bar and Grill in Shakopee, Minnesota. Just Man Freight, Bass Metal Craft, 47 Roan Racing.
Well, and over here on the Facebook side, I've got to chuckle at old Todd Castor, driver of the 2T Hobby Stock. His exact response: sponsors? I haven't had one sponsor to help me since I got back into racing 6 to 7 years ago. So we'll just say sponsored by himself. But Greg Hammond, Guthridge Farms, Siouxland Scale Service, Kevin Odell Electric, KMK Apparel and Design, Norm's Garage, Aaron Sign Shop, Flying J Fabrication, which Flying J Fabrication is one that's on quite a few of the Siouxland cars up there. Jared Jackson says Richard's Machine, Mark's Services, DB Custom, and Anderson Motorsports.
That and with Todd Castro, though, there's some guys that do not have sponsors, but they still support the small businesses that support racing nonetheless. So thank you, Todd, for doing that as well.
Perfect one. Sorry, not to interrupt, but perfect one, Sean Berrigan.
Yes.
I interviewed him a few years, it was about 2-3 years ago, and asked him why he had no sponsors on the car. And he said, you know what? If we can't afford to do it, my wife and I can't afford to do it on our own, we don't need to do it. We'll still support all the great businesses, but we don't want to have to rely on other people's money to make our race program go. And obviously he does really well on his own, just decides that he doesn't want to go that route.
Yeah, and some racers prefer that as well. But, they, like I said, they still support the small businesses, and it's just awesome to see. Going back to TikTok here, Big Daddy 50 says, my father's charter fishing business, Maritime Mayhem, supplies the engines for my daughter's car. Other than that, it all comes from me. Jonathan Wayne says, my dad's chiropractor's office, Wayne Chiropractic, so far my only sponsor, hopefully going to add more soon.
Todd Steenhoven says the Last Call Saloon, Steenhoven Custom Bailing and Trucking, G Express Trucking LLC, and Crow Livestock. And a sizable list from Ribbit, the Bullfrog, AJ Bullware checking in. Of course, Bud's Bar, which my cousin Brooke works at. Midwest Construction Rentals, Mike's Repair, Hell of a Containers. If you want a hell of a container, go check out Hell of a Containers. Advanced Auto Parts, That Guy Handyman Specialist, Thompson Truck Repair, A&K Mitchell Express, Abelson Racing, Nordquist Fab, Royal Car Wash in Oak Point, and Artworks Graphics. And then Daniel Woodle checks in with Murphy's Performance, Schmilling Construction, and Busy Bees Soaps.
Another one here from TikTok, Kirk Lawson, First State Flag, Stockley Tavern, Wilkins Wildlife, Mark Penwell, State Farm. I hope I'm saying that right. Senator Brian Pettyjohn, American Portable Mini Storage, and Frozen Farmer. There for Kirk Lawson. Austin here says Hooters, Shamrock Fasteners, Tommy's Plumbing, Shelter Insurance, and Discount Tires as part of the businesses on his ride. Michael Turner is Hunter Body Shop, Turner Consultant, Chad's Auto, Turned Over Mechanic for Michael Turner, number 65. And we're going to say here for Tim Pritchett Jr., we'll hear from him later on, but Logama's Auto Parts and Machine, West Point, Nebraska, Bratchett Farms, and his wife. So Tim there giving credit to his wife as well, as I'm sure that's part of the sponsorship here for all these guys that are behind the wheel.
I believe it's that second one you said during that list. All of a sudden made me hungry for chicken wings.
Same here.
So Dustin James Jackson, he listed D&D Construction, Krieger Trucking, Brad Fox Hay Grinding, Big Deal Car Care, and that's another one we'll talk about here in just a second. Red Bull Auto, J&O Collision Center, CarQuest Ranchland Auto, RSR Electrical Contracting, Dima Decals, TNS O'Connell, the Golden Hotel of O'Neill, Nebraska, and Jackson Custom Decals and Tumblers. Justin Addison says Addison's Performance Auto Styling, AddisonPerformanceParts.com, Heaven's Best Carpet Cleaning, probably going to butcher this, but Drahota Clean, and Addison's Exteriors. And Trent Johnson checks in with TJ's Repair, Feidler Farms, Hope Farms, Dean's Auto Repair, Red Bull Auto, Emily Ekman Twine and Net Wrap, and Norfolk Transmission and Muffler.
Still going down the list here on Facebook, CJ Johnson, Gunderson Racing Incorporated, King Racing Products, and Hooker Harness. Chad Quaker, the Batman, we had him on a recent episode, driving the 88 car. Hobby stock out of Rapid Speedway, Maxim Powered Racing Engines, Completely Clean LLC, Midland Tire, JDR Tools / Mac Tools, Molder Fabrication, Steenhoven Custom Bailing and Trucking, Big Bore Racing, DeBoer Designs, Josh Van Egan, and Bill Harnman there for the Batman. Chad Quaker. Troy Benke, late model driver out of Norfolk, Nebraska. First off, my beautiful wife. That is at the top of the list. Good man, Troy. Good man.
Yes.
Last Chance Dairy. Speaking of Last Chance Dairy, his late model is wrapped, and it looks like a Holstein cow there with the white and black spots. So very awesome there for Last Chance Dairy. Automated dairy.
Very cool looking.
Automated dairy specialist, Stevens Chopping, Brad Fox, Hay Grinding, Town and Country Vet Clinic, Albion Livestock Market, Post Equipment, and JC Umpress Trucking. Oh, and he forgot one, Dirt Track Supply as well for the 26 car of Troy Benke.
You know, with those sponsors and the way his cars are at, you think he grows hogs?
I don't think
Just
so.
out of curiosity. Sean Edward Suka, I'm going to say, if I butcher that, I do apologize. Verdigris Collision, Suka Repair, 2-seater fencing, and 2AM Sign and Graphics. Also says, not a business, but can't thank Babcock Racing enough for all they do to help him get his car on the track, which very awesome to see a little bit of cooperation there. Blaze Coffee, another one of the Siouxland greats. Siouxland Glass, BS Motorsports, Mortgage Solutions, and Bullware Auto Body. And Kyle Reed, CNC Outback, the little store. Rick Pendergast with KMP Motorsports. Thank a Trucker, Morgan Hamilton with Hambones Garage, and the numerous friends that help and support him along the way.
And our last two here are being brought to you by Tyler Steckelberg, stock car driver out of Nebraska there. Beersman Sandblasting, Nebraska Powder Coating, and Eckhart Fabrications. And our final one here comes from Josh Blom, driver of the 27 Sport Mod. 25, excuse me, yes. Stefan Welding, Artworks Graphics, Joe's Karting, SNS Motorsports, Matt Photography, and once again, Flying J Fabrications. So a lot.
And you know what? He actually forgot one because with him having Joe's Karting, he also is one of the main supporters of the Holiday Horsepower Drive that Buddy Ray Jones and his lovely wife Rachel run. So, Josh, I'm going to call you out on that. You forgot to put the Horsepower Drive on there, buddy.
So,
Josh Blum, owner of Artworks Graphics, also.
So a lot of drivers representing these small businesses that help sponsor them throughout the race season. If any of these businesses that you heard, go check them out. If they are in your area, go support them as they support the local racing scene and these drivers. And let's make a difference here. And we cannot stress it enough. Support the local businesses that supports your local motorsports, whether it may be, dirt bikes, dirt cars, demolition derbies. Go support them, and they will thank you for it in the long run.
Well, and actually, real quick, because we were talking about businesses that started from the bottom and worked their way up, Big Deal Car Care. Let's talk about that for just a moment, because you've got the Big Deal Dylan Book, driver of the BOOK. He actually, it's public knowledge that he used to have a problem with substance abuse. Got himself clean, got himself an amazing wife, and decided to start a business making car care products in Adel, Iowa. And, oh, man, that thing has just taken off. And the whole focus of it, yeah, he wanted to do it for regular cars, but he also wanted to incorporate his racing into it. And there's a lot of cars that are sporting that Big Deal Car Care logo on their vehicles. But also, real quick, Colton Krychek, let's talk about him for a second, because we're talking about all these other types of racing. Well, what a lot of people don't know is Colton Krychek from Denison, Iowa, actually is racing in the Sport Light and Sport classes on the AMSOIL Professional Snowcross Tour. This is the third season he's done it, and this year has finally managed to break out with his first two career wins. Did them both in the Sport Light. He did the first opening round up in Minnesota, and then he won the first night in Fargo this last Friday night. But you were talking about sponsors. Check this list out: Speedworks, Rock Speed, Rocks, Speed FX, Stud Boy, which is obviously track studs, Climb, which gives him his gear. But then you look at all of the local sponsors that help to get this kid up and down the road. Advanced Communication Services, Dolly Tire / Mr. Tire, Aaron Holtz Construction, Kirkman Farms, JC Marketing Services, Manning Insurance Agency, Hill Materials, Jacobson Seed, Bodacious Trucking, Hayden Concrete, Quality Truck Service and Quality Communications, Vermeer Underground, Midwest Underground, Storm Lake Honda, Tom's Electric, FMCTC, Christensen Agri Services, Finish Line Racing Products, the Hoffman Agency, Woodhouse Ford and Blair, Mid-Country Machine, Diamond Oil Company, Hamilton Financial Services, Mark Hansen's Rex Chevrolet, Dr. Lonnie Pitts, Corey Hobscheit, Henry Hobscheit Motors, Steve Emerson, and Jack Doty. And with the exception of Vermeer Corporation and Midwest Underground, all in the, of course, the first about 4 or 5 I said, all of them local area sponsors that are helping him to achieve his dream of going out on the national tour and racing snowmobiles with the big boys. And let's not forget, they're going to be in your neck of the woods here coming up in a week from this coming weekend there, Scotty.
Yeah, that they will. We'll get to that later on in the show here for upcoming events. So yeah, a lot of local businesses giving back to the communities, and as well as the racing community giving back to them as well. Such a great thing. So that was today's Fort Orange Salvage question of the day. Next week's Fort Orange Salvage question of the day, PJ's got this one, so we'll let him ask the question here for next week's question of the day. PJ?
Well, I asked this one on my TikTok. You can follow, obviously, Scotty at Scotty_2_Hottie58. You can follow me at PJ Announcer. And I put this one up there as a random question. What is your favorite type of track? And there really is no wrong answer. If you're a NASCAR fan and you enjoy more of the mile and a half, 2 mile, 2.5 mile super speedways, if you watched the Busch Clash last night and saw the road course, if that's your thing, great. Otherwise, if you're a dirt tracker, do you prefer the 3/8, the half miles, the bigger tracks? Do you enjoy the half mile or the quarter mile and a third mile tracks? Do you enjoy flat tracks, bank tracks, semi-bank tracks? Are you a drag racer? Do you enjoy straight track? There is no wrong answer. What is your favorite type of track and why? That is your Fort Orange Salvage question of the day for next week.
So be sure to look for that on Facebook and TikTok, Instagram as well. I will be posting that later today. So that is the question. What type of track is your favorite? So put that in the comment section, and your answers will be read out next week here on the show for the Fort Orange Salvage question of the day. We are going to take another quick break here, and just on the other side of the break, I'm going to be sitting down with Tim Pritchett Jr., and we're going to hear about his racing career, how it got started to where he is at now, as well as what it's like representing Racers for Autism. So Tim Pritchett Jr. just on the other side of this break. Stay tuned.
Rapid Graphics, located in Rock Rapids, Iowa, on the corner of Highway 9 and 75, specialize in graphics and signage of all types. They specialize in indoor and outdoor signage, banners, commercial vehicles, custom logos, race car graphics, and much, much more. Rapid Graphics have the tools to get your job done, and you can find them easily on Facebook at Rapid Graphics 12. For more information, contact Rapid Graphics for all of your custom graphic and signage needs today.
Welcome back to the Announcers Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. And another small business there located out of Rock Rapids, Iowa. Blake Shipper, the guy behind Rapid Graphics, does a great job. I have given him business. He supports the show here. I cannot say thank you enough to you, Blake, for helping support the show. But this guy knocks it out of the park for race car wraps, t-shirts design, decal stickers, even with the plaques for sponsors and whatnot. He does all of that out of Rock Rapids, Iowa. So if you were in the area and need something done, he also does a lot more. He does canvas prints, and he does a lot. So look him up on Facebook at Rapid Graphics 12 and check him on out in the Rock Rapids area as well. Once again, a big thank you to Rapid Graphics for being our title advertising partner here on the show. And PJ, going into this guest here, both of us know Tim. We met Tim when he was helping out Mike Kramer, the 2019 New Raceway Park Track champion. And He climbed back in the car in 2020, had some tough luck, but had fun nonetheless. This is just a great guy all the way around.
Yeah, he is. And like you say, he climbed back in behind a sport mod. And I don't know. It's kind of a whole lot of what could go wrong did go wrong. Blue Motors got caught up in incidents. Towards the end of the season, he ended up working upon a deal where he actually got rid of the sport mod and got into a hobby stock. So this is going to be a learning curve year for him in 2021 as he'll be joining that wild and woolly hobby stock bunch. And you and I have called enough of those races up at Raceway Park to know that that is a wild and woolly class up there.
That it is. So without further ado, here is the interview with myself and Tim Pritchett Jr. Coming into the Sodak iRacing Series phone lines now is a driver out of Nebraska, and it's hard to keep track of what he does. He's done so much in the racing community. He raced in the early 2000s, and then he quit, and then he was a race official, which is how I met him. And then now he's back racing. There was a sport mod, and now a hobby stock, and who knows? It might be a modified next season. You never know with this guy. Tim Pritchett Jr. here on the Announcer Booth podcast, and also one of the Racers for Autism representatives. Tim, thanks for being on the show, man.
Hey, Scotty. Thanks for having me.
So you've done a lot in your racing career. Like I said, started out racing and then got out of it and then got into the officiating side of things and then back in a car. And really the sport mod wasn't working out, so now hobby stock. How did everything start, though, for you in racing? And how did that lead up to where you're at today?
I grew up, my dad raced. He raced at Sunset Speedway, Midwest Speedway. He ran at David City. He ran like the Bronco class back in the 80s, and he transitioned to a Pro-Am. I got my teeth cut in 95. We built a hobby stock for me. I ran at I-80 Speedway, and it's kind of progressed from there. So,
and you got into a sport mod too, just like a little bit after that too, didn't you?
Yeah, I can't remember the exact year. We ran a sport mod over at Blackbird Bend and ran over there. So I tried that out, and it wasn't my cup of tea back then. And I got into a hobby stock, and I'm more comfortable in a hobby. But I had a good run this past season in a sport mod. Just too much maintenance, I guess, on those cars compared to my lifestyle with family and stuff. So I had to choose.
Well, and family always, being put first in the racing world, and anyone will tell you that. Officiating as well. You and I met at the Off-Road Speedway in 2019 when I was still running hobby stock. How did you transition then from the driver's seat to the officiating side of things and then getting back into the car?
Officiating was a totally different thing I wasn't used to. I mean, it puts you in a whole new perspective on the opposite side of the court, you say. I mean, hearing, making calls and, upsetting people and stuff like that, it definitely opens your eyes and a lot of stuff. So
that it does. And going from the driver's seat to the officiating, then I've officiated myself a few times. It really, like you said, brings a different perspective to it. Does that help you make calls better or worse, or since you've been in that driver's seat and you know where the driver is coming from?
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, of course, you always want to argue about when you're getting a call to you. I mean, but I mean, you try to be fair. You've been in that predicament, so you want to make the right call because it's going to jeopardize, a finishing spot or a transfer spot out of the heat, So, I mean, you don't play favorites by no means, but you just got to make sure you're doing it right.
And you're definitely not going to make friends doing that either. I mean, I've officiated some races and with some guys that I've raced with before, and it's like, yeah, I don't think that was the right call. Well, you're not going to get every call right when you're officiating, though.
Oh, no. It's so hard, if you're trying to watch the whole track or just your corner, it's hard to catch every little bump and bang and stuff like that. So it's definitely different. I don't know if I'd ever do it again, but it was definitely an eye-opening experience. And off-road for letting me have the time to do it. It was fun.
How many years did you officiate then for them?
I just officiated for 2019. I was helping Mike Kramer on Sundays with his car, and he was running for a championship up at Raceway Park in the Sport Mod division. So I was pretty booked up between officiating and helping Mike on Sundays trying to pit. So
And then helping Mike, the 2019 track champion at the new Raceway Park, Jefferson, South Dakota. Is that kind of what gave you the push to climb back in a car then?
Well, mechanics night. He let me pack the track a few times in his car, and then him and his wife and Sonny, his father, and Sharon, his mom, they let me run the mechanics race, and that's pretty much what set me back in the car. I mean, get that bug again, so it's hard to get away from it. So,
how hard is it then when you've gotten out of the car, when you've been in it for so long, and then, like you said, you were officiating, do you kind of get that itch of, want to get back in the car, and then actually when you do it, it's like, oh my goodness, what was I thinking? Let's see how I remember if I can do this now.
Oh yeah, definitely. You've been out of the seat for a while. I mean, you remember some stuff, but the game has changed so much with the technology on cars and everything, just in the sport mod class alone, with everything else. I mean, it's tough.
And these cars change from year to year. It seems like there's always something new to learn, and you're never done learning at the racetrack, especially, like you said, with the sport mod class, even with the hobby stock class, any class of racing, you're constantly learning and gaining more knowledge.
Oh, I take notes. After the races every night, I try to write down what, little notes that I remember and try to help me through the season. I mean, it's that little things that help you, I guess. You learn every night.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Another thing I want to touch on that I know is near your heart. You are one of the representatives for Racers for Autism, and start out with sport mod, and then going into the hobby stock. But you actually, on a personal note, is the reason why this is near and dear to your heart. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah, my oldest son, Cody, he's on the autism scale. He has Asperger's, so it's really near to my heart. And working with them and seeing how frustrated they get on just little things that we take for granted and stuff. So I'm all about the Autism Network. It's a good thing. I'm proud to be a part of it.
And we've seen this with a lot of kids that are autistic, usually loud noises they don't like, or being in large crowds or whatever, but something about racing just seems to give him that peace. Have you noticed the same thing with your son then?
Oh yeah, he loves going to the track. He's always following me, trying to learn. He's when there's a bad call or I get wrecked or something stupid, he's always mad. He flies off the handle more than I do. I'm like, you just got to breathe. It's okay. Calm down.
And what does it mean then just to share those moments with him at the track, and just even in the garage at home? Do you feel like racing has brought you two a little closer together?
Oh yeah, he's always liked the racing, and we were a family, racing family prior, and then my dad helps me, my son, my wife. We're a small knit crew, I guess. We don't have the shops and the 4 or 5 pit guys a night that come with us to help out. It's just us. So.
Absolutely. And I mean, people helping you all the steps of the way as well. Sponsors is one of the things that we're talking about this week here on the Announcer Booth podcast. Who are these small businesses and sponsors that help keep your car out on the track each and every week?
I have Brock Farms. He's helped me a lot. I got to use his truck last year to tow my car to the track. I have Loganman Auto Parts in West Point. I have Kevin Brunk Racing. He helps me out a lot. Let's see here. Demon Decals. I did my wrap. I have Pink Zebra, Color Street Nails, Hands Hedgehogs, and of course the Autism. I mean, they don't sponsor me, but they got the whole trunk on my car just to help rep out. So.
And I know 2020, basically getting back in the car. You had a rough 2020. I know a lot of drivers did. What's it like, though, with transitioning from that sport mod back into the hobby stock and then racing at the new Raceway Park with a lot of guys who have a lot of talent behind the wheel?
Half the tire, half the size. I mean, so I did that the first night out. I put it in the wall, but getting too aggressive when they don't react as much as like a sport mod does. So you got to use your head a little bit more. So.
And 2021, I know I've seen pictures on Facebook of you getting the car ready. What is the goal, or what is the expectation and plans for the 2021 racing season for Pritchett Racing?
I want to run the new Raceway Park. I hit off-road a little bit and just have fun. If I'm not having fun, there's no use of doing it. I mean, when it gets that frustrating, it's time to sit back and just figure out what you want to do. So. Definitely
the number one rule in racing. Have fun. Even a bad night at the racetrack is still a good night, because you got out and you got to get to see your friends and family at the racetrack and race with some other cool guys. Moving forward, how long do we expect to see you in the car then?
Oh, my son does want to drive, but I don't know. I haven't decided to let him yet or not. But a few more years, I suppose, I'll race, see how it goes with everything else going on.
And then possibly handing him the reins to the car? Or?
Yeah, possibly. We could see how that goes. I mean, with his autism, I don't know if he can handle it or not. I don't want to put anybody in jeopardy.
Right.
So,
including himself as well. But
exactly.
But as long as you're all at the racetrack with the family, that is the best feeling you could ask for, though.
Exactly. It's all about having fun and mingling with your friends before and after the races. I'm hardly ever in my trailer. I'm always walking around talking to people.
And always making times for fans as well. Where can we find more information about where you're going to be at this year, Tim?
You guys can check out my Facebook page. It's Pritchett Racing on Facebook. I try to update that a lot. So.
And I know with, like you said, traveling to Off-Road Speedway, as well as the new Raceway Park, possibly Wagner on a Friday night this year, or?
Yeah, we'd like to try that. I think we're going to hit McCool for their big hobby stock special in July. Otherwise, we'll probably stay close to home. So.
And I'm sure US 30 for the Abe Lincoln Memorial at the end of the year as well.
Yeah, we'll probably try that again, as much as I didn't do the best this time, but it's a tough track, that's for sure. Good facility, just a tough racing surface. So
that it is, but it always brings out the driver in everyone, and it's great to see everyone racing out there. Tim, cannot thank you enough for your time here, man. Best of luck in 2021, and we hope to see you at the track.
Thanks, Scotty. I appreciate it.
So that was Tim Pritchett Jr., driver of the 35 hobby stock and one of the Racers for Autism representatives. And I cannot thank him enough for coming on the show here and helping us out. So we're going to take a quick break. And just on the other side of the break, we're going to hear from PJ Pedersen. So stay tuned.
The Sodak iRacing League is the premier iRacing league for drivers, crew members, fans, and sponsors in the tri-state area around South Dakota, Iowa, and Minnesota. From street stocks to super late models, modifieds to sprint cars, the Sodak iRacing League does them all. You can follow all of their seasons live and free on Advantage Racing TV. For more information, look for Sodak iRacing on Facebook or join the league by searching for Sodak under the Leagues tab on your iRacing account.
As you just heard there from the Sodak iRacing series, great online iRacing series there. Troy Schurz just does an amazing job, and he credits those small businesses that help the Sodak iRacing series out as well. Great group of guys, and it's a lot of talent behind the wheel and supporting small businesses again, as that is the name of the show here. So here, still with PJ Pedersen, my co-announcer, or I should say the head announcer at the new Raceway Park in Jefferson, South Dakota. I just fill in when needed, I guess we could say. That'd be about right, PJ, wouldn't it?
No, you know what? I think we've done it enough that we could consider it co-announcing. I mean, they technically consider me the lead, but I pretty much think that we're just pretty much co-announcers.
And 2020 was an interesting year for us in the announce booth up there. But I mean, just giving credit to the small businesses, even that were struggling through 2020, giving when they could to help support racing. It was just an awesome sight to see, especially one night, the Racers for Autism night. I know I've talked about this in the past on previous episodes, but to be there that night and to raise $5,207 that was donated to the Northwest Iowa Autism Network out of Spencer, Iowa. What a night that was, man. Let's reflect on that here a bit.
Man, all the sleepless nights and the stressing and everything else. To be honest, Scotty, you and I both said we'd be happy if we made $2,000 out of the whole deal to give to them.
Right.
To have the final amount be over $5,000, none of us could believe it. And I mean, you actually kind of started this brainchild. We all kind of jumped in and helped you out from there. But, I mean, it was almost a year in the making, and so happy and so thankful. We had so many businesses that came together and helped us out. We had, Bree and Lenny helped out. Of course, we had Aaron, Kane, Larissa, all there. We had there was so many people I can't even start to remember them all that helped jump in and make this a huge success.
Yeah, David and Jessica Bates jumping in as well as Tim Pritchett and his wife, Greg Hammond, jumping in there too. A lot of drivers supporting this, but not only the drivers, but the race fans that showed up there that night too. You know, PJ, we had cut off the silent auction. The silent auction was done. The 50-50 raffle was done. However you could donate basically was done after intermission, and all throughout
the fans were not done.
No, the fans were not done. All throughout the features, I don't think I was barely in the booth enough because you and our good friend Jimmy Scott were calling the race action. People kept coming up to the booth saying, "Hey, I want to donate. Hey, I want to donate." So I was running cash down to Sonia Brunson, who was taking care of all of the cash personnel that night, and say, "Hey, here's some more. Here's some more." She's like, "Well, I just got done counting." "Oh, I know, but more people are donating, so here, get back up to the announce booth, go to pick up the mic again. Hey, I'd like to donate. Here's some more cash." "Okay, I'll be right back, guys. Yeah, you guys can take it from here." Just so much love and sharing that night. We could not believe when we announced the final number at the end of the night, $5,207 raised for the Northwest Iowa Autism Network. Baumgars had a big deal there, as well as a couple part stores. I can't quite remember the name of them in the Sioux City area. Wilm's Best Hardware donating a barbecue kit. There was, I know Larissa had a friend that made some Santa Claus dolls that were on the silent auction as well. A couple racing products that were given from local businesses, a mud plug. There was some lotions. There was Subway also from Sioux City. A lot of stuff. Snow Doctors in the Bronson Bar. A lot of small businesses coming together and donating stuff and helping kick this night off. One business we do have to mention, PJ, or I'm afraid we might lose our jobs, Steve's Roofing. Right there in South Sioux City, Nebraska. Steve Corrali, the promoter of the track, said, "You know what, you guys give in what you can to help sponsor tonight. I got the rest covered. We're going to donate, we're going to have a big donation for the Northwest Iowa Autism Network," and it did. And I know we're working on having another date this year in 2021. We're still talking about it, but man, what a night that was. But not only that night, but other nights as well, with businesses sponsoring the racing programs there at the New Raceway Park.
You know, I still vividly remember, even after he had already donated quite a bit, Joel McGee came up to the booth after the hobby stock feature, and we were kind of just, I think we were under caution or something, and he asked, you know, how's the numbers looking? And I said, well, we're only $200 away from 5,000. We can't believe that we made this much.
Right.
I turn and look at something. I look back, and all of a sudden, here's two $100 bills being shoved in my face by the Toy Scout himself, Joel McGee. But then on top of that, after announcing that Joel McGee had gotten us to 5,000, here comes more people still stacking on top. I mean, I never in a million years did I think that would have turned out the way it did. But I am so happy and thankful that it did.
And we cannot thank the drivers enough for the that represent the Racers for Autism, that help donate to the Northwest Iowa Autism Network, and hopefully starting to donate to other networks in the area as well. David Bates, driver of the 13B Hobby Stock, the Angry Watermelon, him and his wife Jessica, a big part of this. A stock car driver, Aaron Kane, driver of the 43 car, and his wife Larissa, another big help as well. Lenny Cunningham, a Sport Compact driver, and his wife Bree, a very, very big help there as well. Greg Hammond and soon-to-be wife, also a big help. Tim Pritchett Jr. and his wife, and just everyone coming together. We have new members now with Richard Gray and his wife Nikki coming on board this year as well to help out with things. Just these drivers do so much, not only out there for the racing community, but on the track representing the Racers for Autism, but the women working behind the scenes. As PJ, you and I have, been helping promote this. They do a lot of the behind the scenes work and make things work essentially. So we could not thank you girls enough for helping do this, and guys driving your hearts out and just being such a awesome representatives for this small group as we try to bring awareness for autism and help families that have been touched by autism as well.
Well, and let's not forget three other drivers that weren't mentioned. The Gage cluster, Gage Reesdorf,
Yes.
also joining in the Sport Compact ranks. Also, Jason Hickenbottom. Mike, if you're listening to this, love you, man. And then Caleb Jasperson joining on through the off-road raceway as the late model representative. So, I mean, and they all donated stuff too. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Everybody behind the scenes that helped us to do this. I mean, Scotty, you and I were kind of the mouthpieces, but it was everybody that was behind the scenes. They're the ones that did all the work.
Absolutely. And I mean, Jason Hickenbottom, like you mentioned, and Gage Reesdorf, the Gage cluster, and Caleb Jasperson, those guys also being a very, very big help, donating stuff as well. We could not do it without them. This was a great event last year. We're hoping to have a big event this year again. And, it's just been a lot of fun announcing with you, PJ, just on a personal note here. Coming on as a kind of really not knowing what I was doing announcer in 2019 and filling in for you a couple times because you had prior commitments, and then hopping in the booth, you showing me a few things, as well as Jimmy Scott showing me a few things as well, and Sean Neisted also working with him weekly with iRacing now. It's really great just to get to know you guys, but also you guys sharing tips on how to be a better announcer. I would consider that, like a small business. I mean, traveling around and doing voice work, stuff like that. So a big thank you to you guys and all the other announcers out there that are helping these tracks recognize these small businesses as well, and as these drivers for recognizing these small businesses. Let's do it again and make this even bigger and better here in 2021.
Well, and I'm far from a great announcer, and I might be overstepping my boundaries by saying this, but if you are a track announcer or, you're a PA announcer of any kind, whether it be at the high school sports level, racing, whatever, and you're not announcing the local businesses that are helping put this on, why are you not? Make sure that you are announcing them 2-3 times a night. Give them that love, because it's those businesses that are allowing us to do what we want to do, including this year, Scotty, because I'll tell you what, 2021 season is right around the corner, literally. Hopefully it gets a whole lot warmer.
Yeah, it's right around the corner here, and just cannot wait for opening night at the track. PJ, you mentioned these sponsors 2-3 times a night. You and I have kind of been, at fault for some of that sometimes, because things can get busy in the announce booth and you forget. But we always try to make up and make sure to give the recognition that these small businesses and sponsors deserve. So that is going to be concluded this segment here for these small businesses. We're going to take a quick break here from Advantage Racing TV and AOK Photography. And just on the other side of the break, we have upcoming events. Stay tuned.
Advantage Racing TV is your source for local entertainment in the tri-state area. From compacts to late models and sprint cars, Advantage Racing TV has just what you need to cure your racing ailments. Check them out online at www.advantageracing.tv and take advantage of your racing addiction.
AOK Photography and Design is the place for all your photo needs. AOK does racing hero cards, blankets, canvas, racing sponsor photos, as well as other personalized items. Located out of Montevideo, Minnesota, they can get what you need at an affordable price. Check them out on Facebook for more information, and you'll find that their guaranteed service is AOK.
Welcome back to the Announcers Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics, and two small businesses right there that we just heard from PJ in Advantage Racing TV, a small business when it started out and now growing substantially and bringing the racing action into your home if you are not able to make it to the track. And these guys also a big part of racing, sponsor a few cars that I know of. And AOK Photography and Design, Alex Ostenson does a great job with photos at whichever racetrack he goes to, and working with these drivers to help make sure that their sponsors and small businesses that they are representing get out there. So helping get the word out, as Alex is a small business owner himself. So a big thank you to those guys for also being advertising partners here on the show, and for basically being the advertiser for this upcoming segment and upcoming events. And I know, PJ, you have a few events here. just want to talk about the show coming up at Bristol here in the middle of March, as well as the Nebraska Dirt Crown Series coming up. Be sure to check those out on Facebook. Just look up Bristol Dirt. I think it's Bristol Dirt Racing, I believe, is you can type that in and should bring up information. And the Nebraska Dirt Crown, look that up on Facebook, Nebraska Dirt Crown, and still get registration for the big 4-day tour out in Nebraska. So be sure to do that. Also, GeForce Esports, look those guys up on YouTube, GeForce Esports, as they have the GeForce Racing Leagues each and every night of the week. They're on YouTube. Great iRacing group. Sean Neistat and myself have the call on Monday nights for Monday Night Madness for the A&J Custom Creations 360 Renegades Sprint Cars. And then on Thursday Night Thunder with the Big Block Modifieds, brought to you by Epsilon Sprint Wraps. So go check that out. PJ, what do you got for upcoming events here?
Well, 2021 is already shaping up to be a big year. I mean, we're talking about new address, new girlfriend, new to me truck, new equipment that we're going to use to try and streamline things. And the earliest start that I'm going to have since I started announcing, we'll get to that in a second. But first off, if you guys want something to really watch, it's really, really cool. You're going to be in the Sioux Falls area. It's going to be Friday and Saturday, the 19th and 20th of February. That is the Amsoil Professional Snowcross. This is normally the stop they make in Salamanca, New York, but with New York shut down, they moved it to Sioux Falls, South Dakota. You can get your tickets at etix.com. That's etix.com. They are advance tickets for $25 per day, or you can get a weekend pass in advance for $45. And the cool thing is, once you're there for an extra $10, you can get a pit pass and wander the pits and check out all the snowmobiles, the snow bikes, all of the great action. So once again, that's February 19th and 20th. I'll be up there myself, rooting on Colton Krychek on the 20th. The very next day, on Sunday, February 22nd, I'm sorry, that's the 20th and 21st. My bad. It's the 20th and 21st of February. The Sunday, the February 22nd, you're not going to want to miss this if you're near Sioux City. Head on over to South Sioux City, Nebraska. This is going to be the Delta Hotel Center, which is formerly the Marina Inn and Convention Center. The Rodders and Racers Swap Meet, the 40th annual original Sioux City Racers Swap Meet is going to be there. And that, even if you don't want to get parts, is a great time to talk to people you haven't talked to in forever. And then only 2 weeks after that, Scotty, my announcing season for 2021 will kick off in Ottawa, Iowa, at the Ottawa Dragway, as Domination Motorsports, in coordination with the Ottawa Dragway, is going to put on the Snowmageddon Demo Derby. Now, all the spots for the 5 big classes are filled, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is amazing action. The pit is huge. There was a little bit of confusion since it was a first-time show last October for Pumpkin Smash, but a lot of lessons have been learned, and a lot of things are going to be different. So it's going to be a great show. That is going to start 2 p.m. on March 6th. Yes, we're going to start in the afternoon, hopefully try to get done shortly after dark so it doesn't get too cold, but yeah, March 6th, make sure Ottawa Dragway, be there. If you can't be there, Kurt with Derby Nation TV will have all of the action for you as well. So, Scotty, like I said, 2021 starting early, and looks like it's stacking to get big.
That it is, and I just want to correct you here, PJ. The Snowcross dates is the 19th and 20th there in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and the Sunday, the 21st, is the Rodders and Racing Swap Meet there in Sioux City. So you had it right the first time, man.
Yeah, then the flyer I'm looking at from the Facebook page is a misprint because it says Sunday, February 22nd. So
yeah.
See, once again, something you don't want to do with us announcers. You don't confuse the idiot.
Don't confuse the monkey with the microphone. As you know, we're just working for bananas over here.
Right.
So, like you said, PJ, Domination Motorsports, there on the March 6th at the Ottawa Dragways. Be sure to hit up that big Demolition Derby event. It's going to be awesome. PJ, you and I start announcing together April 18th, 2021 at the new Raceway Park. I'm so excited for that. Cannot wait, and definitely going to be a wild racing season here in 2021 at the new Raceway Park.
do I dare say weather permitting, considering the fact it's April?
Well, now you jinxed us. Now you jinxed us. So maybe then. So it might be the first week of May before we get out to the new Raceway Park, but always a good time out there.
And let's not forget the following Friday after that is, I believe, the 23rd-ish of April is Spring Fling at the Crawford County Speedway in Denison, too. So, and that's going to kick off an extra long season because Crawford County Speedway actually going until the last Friday in August as opposed to the first Friday in August this year. So they're taking a page from the other tracks and going with a longer season. So it's going to be a big year in 2021, I'm telling you.
That it is, and looking forward to it as always. That is going to bring us here to the end of the Announcers Booth podcast presented by Rapid Graphics. PJ, got to thank you for being on the show, man, and co-hosting. This has really been fun. Can't wait to have you back again. Also, a big thank you to Matthew Bronish, Jerry Van Sickle, and Sean Neested for helping out on the show today, and Tim Pritchett for being on the show, and to you, the race fans, for helping support the show as well. Could not do this without you. So until next time, PJ, why don't you sign us off here?
Well, as we say each and every night when we close the show out, no matter where you go or what you do, please be smart, be safe, and we'll see you at the races. Good night, everybody.
Have a good week, everyone.